Good morning, my friends. This is Tyra Jarvis with Kefi Coaching, and this is Transformation Tuesday. And as always, I'm pretty excited about a new week and a new month. And we have maybe November and December left for the end of the year. But if I'm perfectly honest, I'm really struggling right now. And I know last time I talked about, casting a longer vision, looking at the end of 2022 and unfolding backwards and having fourth quarter be the first quarter of the 5-quarter year for next year. It sounds great, but it's not necessarily what's in order for me right now. And I don't know what it is possibly for you. It could be the long-lasting effects of COVID. I'm examining that for sure. We are starting to see a few other networking events, and I went to a networking event a couple of weeks ago, and I just felt so alive being, in a room, yes, safe, but being in a room with others and sharing business cards and connections and following up afterwards. And it was just an easier way of life for me because I'm social. I liked being out, and I like connecting with people and looking for ways that we can support each other. And it just made it so much easier the way we used to do it. And now I'm a little bit optimistic that things will start opening up somewhat. But it also, for me, I find that I'm very sensitive to the change in the seasons. And so, Halloween was on Sunday. Daylight savings time is, next Saturday and Sunday. The days are getting shorter, daylight anyway. It's dark a lot more. The harvest is complete, if you will. And we're getting ready for winter. And, other species on the planet hibernate during this time of year. So is the opposite of, going gangbusters into the end of the year really about, taking time to, review and reflect and stay in the present and focus on the things that are working. And for me now, it's about sustaining, avoiding being depleted and replenishing my energy and my stores, if you will. And, finding my motivation and my spark about something. I mean, holidays are coming. November is the month of Thanksgiving, of gratitude, of really showing appreciation for the people that matter in your life. And so, although there's a lot of things physically going on, there might be a path forward for you and for me if we look at, possibly some simple strategies for navigating this time of the year. Obviously, there's going to be more demands for our time. So if our calendar is not freed up enough where there's enough white space for you to say yes to some possibilities of some things that you would like to maybe be a part of, you may have a habit of doing. And so it's interesting when I'm kind of in this reflective state myself. I have 3 sources in my morning routine that are my guides, if you will. And the first one is my daily Chopra meditation. And then I read from the Sarah Van Branop book, Simple Abundance. And then I listen to Darren Hardy Monday through Friday and his Darren Daily thing. And sometimes these messages all sync up. So what was fascinating in the meditation a couple of days ago, they talked about us being human beings and not human doings. And that it was really important to get in touch with how you're being and how you're allowing yourself and taking care of yourself around being. And then in the Sarah Branop book, she talks about the fact that these seasons are changing and that this will soon pass. And then I hear the quote that I shared on my personal page about without change, there wouldn't be butterflies. And that we just need to acknowledge that there's a different time and a different season that we're going through right now, collectively as well as personally. And how do you make the best or make the most out of what's beautiful about that time? And then today, fascinatingly enough, wasn't totally aware of this, this is All Souls Day. It's a Christian holiday that emanates from the medieval times. Wasn't really all that familiar with it, even though maybe I was. I just didn't remember it. But it reminded me about getting in touch with your soul. And so All Souls Day, as I read about it, was about connecting, obviously after All Hallows Eve, connecting with the people that are no longer laughing and crying with us, that have gone on before us, and their souls, connecting with their souls and what those remembrance might be. And so if that's part of the season, that could be going on in the background for me for sure. But then it also talked about getting in touch with your soul and what you need to feel not protected so much, but supported, and what you might need to do in your daily routines, or what you might need to do in your personal foundation, or and that could result in a lot of different things. It could be looking at your time and how can you take back your time. And one of my coaches, Amber De La Garza, has a free gift on her website that I would highly recommend, especially this time of year, on taking back your time. So if you go to amberdelagarza.com and you look for her freebie, highly recommend it. Quick, very well done, 30 minutes, quick exercise to really put you through an exercise of looking at your calendar over the next 60 days and what can you keep doing, stop doing, and start maybe possibly making some time for. And, how do you really take back that time? Because there's going to be power in you allocating your time to the things that matter most to you. There's no question about that. But it's more than just the time. And so one strategy would be taking care of your well-being enough that you can stay in the present and not get too overly focused. And although I think with successful people and goal achievers, focusing on goals is key, but it can be something that causes us to focus on that exclusively. And so we have a tendency to live in the gap, and we live in all the things that aren't done, and it causes us to not focus or take the time or the pause to nourish ourselves with what is working, what you've created for yourself, what successes you've had. And so some kind of a review and reflection right now of what worked, what's working, what you want to continue, and what you're actually feeling, and then celebrate that. Because in the present, if you're celebrating a win and something that works for you, it's very hard to be focusing on the missing or the gap or what's not working for you. And you want to be putting more of the things that are working, into your life, and continue to have those into your life. And so staying present, reviewing and reflecting, and, and completing anything that's incomplete that doesn't serve you anymore. And that could be just being honest and in integrity about saying, I know I said that I was going to do this, but I'm having to repromise I'm not going to do this. And that could be really powerful, even if it's especially with yourself. So being in the present, focusing on what's working, keeping the things that are working, focusing on gratitude, and looking at, energy management and sustaining your energy, especially during this time of year when you have less daylight and might be harder to stick to your workout routines. You might have to look for some alternates that might allow you to do that. But it is about slowing down and taking care of yourself and doing the things that replenish your soul and your spirit. Maybe it's take a nap. Maybe it's hug a child. Maybe it's do something nice for somebody else. But more importantly, do something nice for you. This is the time to maybe able to do that. So taking back your time, that exercise, I highly recommend it. It can be pretty eye-opening when you see, what you've done to your calendar. If I'm honest, I'm triple booked on some occasions. There's no way I'm going to be able to complete all those things. And so I'm going to have to clean that up and say what it is I'm not going to do, and, and promise newly around that. But there's no way I can be in 3 places at once. I can't even do 2 places at one time. So time definitely has a big part in it. So, just to summarize, acknowledge the season for what it is. Acknowledge that we're in month 11 of a 12-month year. Acknowledge that you've had a lot of successes this year in some pretty challenging circumstances, especially with the enduring effects of COVID. And as we move into winter, take some time this month, the month of gratitude, to be grateful to yourself and compassionate with yourself, and acknowledge the things that have really worked for you that you want to keep in your life. And, the things that, the people that aren't serving you that you want to disassociate with, the things that you want to maybe stop doing, tasks that you want that aren't serving you anymore. It could be a perfect time that you kind of just recognize and that this is the perfect time for you to be getting ready for something big. And you need to be in the right frame of mind. You need to be emotionally solid. You need to have a good physical foundation to be able to do some of these things. And if like me, you've allowed yourself to get depleted, all of those things are going to be a little bit out of whack. So find a way to be in the present, nurture your soul, whatever works for you. Celebrate some gratitude for yourself and others. Get in that positive energy vibe. And, it was interesting. We have so many choices. And, it's challenging to choose choices and choose the right choices. And, if we procrastinate or if we're a perfectionist, we might delay some of those things. But in reality, action is the best source. And if it doesn't work out, you'll choose newly another time. But what I want you to get, and this actually came from Darren Hardy, and it was a tool, a filter, if you will, for helping you to prioritize. It should be fast and it should be easy, and it should be getting you in action, especially if you're feeling stuck and overwhelmed and a little stressed. And if you're a business owner, and even in your personal life, it needs to have a positive return on what you're doing. And so look for fast and easy and profitable. And that actually could be profitable in energy, not just money. So, it's a lot of different thoughts right now. They're still kind of scrambling around in my head. But mostly I want you to be celebrating what you're grateful for this month and taking some time to nurture your soul, whatever that looks like for you. And find a way to take this time and accept it for what it is. And just know that this too will pass. And without change, there would be no butterflies. So if you're interested in the Take Back Your Time exercise, go to Amber De La Garza, AmberDelagarza. She's a productivity specialist. She's actually a coach of mine right now, as I'm re-examining every system, every tool, everything that I've got going on, because if I'm honest, if they're not the right ones, they're draining me. They're frustrating me. They're draining me. So just go ahead and check out her Take Back Your Time. And she's also doing a vision board exercise this Friday. So if you're interested in that, private message me and I'll send you that link. She has a wonderful podcast on productivity, very quick, never over 30 minutes. Great tools. She has some great gifts to share, and I'm really enjoying my relationship with her, and I'm happy to share that with you if you think that might help you as well. All right? So tune in next week for Transformation Tuesday. Good morning, Allison. Good morning, Myra. Thanks for joining me this morning. I hope that you picked up something that might be able to help you, and feel free to private message me on Facebook for sure, or LinkedIn, and I look forward to connecting with all of you. So enjoy this week. Take time to take care of your soul and your spirit for sure. All right? Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.